sick, but.
Zach Yorke from The Advocate. Welcome to LSU.
Thank you.
I was curious about what were your interactions with Jay when he was recruiting your brother way back when?
Yeah, I have a bunch of funny stories. I really wanted to play at U of A. It was my dream school just because I went on all the visits with my brother. So I went on his unofficial visit, and we were at Fleming's, the steakhouse, I don't know why I was sitting in between Coach Johnson and Nick, but I was, and Nick was like, they were talking about his swing the whole night, obviously, because he was really good. And Coach Johnson wanted him really bad. And Nick was like, what about my brother? Like, what's it going to take to get him to come to U of A? And Coach tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, this is when I was a freshman. He tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, you got a lot of work to do. So I mean, obviously I worked hard and got in the cages with my brothers, and I've had great coaches my whole career. But yeah, so it was awesome being recruited by him, and he was my first phone call when I got in the portal. So that was pretty cool.
Hey, Zach, just being around you guys this fall, it seems like you've already got rapport with, everybody on the team. Just how has that process been, acclimating to living here and then meeting all these new guys?
Yeah, I've loved every second. Every person, every one of my teammates, every coach has been nothing but welcoming, and it couldn't have been a better fall, like, in that aspect. We do stuff off the field every single day. We go, everyone in our group chat's invited to every single thing we do. I think our dynamic is really good, and excited to get going in February. I think we got a lot to show this year.
Yeah, hey Zach, just in your conversations with Coach and I guess the ways that you could develop here, just what were some of the sticking points that stood out to you, and then just how in your first several months here do you think you've attacked that and improved in your game?
Yeah, I've had multiple conversations with Coach. He's really good about meeting with all of us and telling us exactly what we need to work on. The main thing that he tells me is just be myself. He tells me just go have quality at bats, and at a place like Grand Canyon, obviously we're a great program. We used to get little courtesy or critiqued on our competition that we would play in our conference. So obviously coming here, it's a little bit different. Every arm is the best arm I've seen in college. So inter squads in the first live at bats were pretty tough for me, but once inter squad started, I kind of settled in, and he kind of noticed when we put a lot of emphasis on moving the offense and doing jobs like runner on second, nobody out, and getting him over, I would get away from my approach and swing early and get myself out. And he sat me down and was just like, look, be yourself. Every situation, he said, you're good enough to play here. And he's just preached be myself, and I'm going to keep that going.
Yeah, kind of to that regard, obviously replacing Jared Jones, replacing however you want to, view that term, I guess. Just, have you had any conversations with Jared, and what are your thoughts on kind of trying to be the big bat, I guess, in this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Bear. He's been around the last couple weeks. He was at the Chief and Jamie World Series there. I like him. He's a good dude. He's been nothing but nice to me. As far as replacing him, I'm not really trying to replace him. Obviously, I think he's the home run leader here, right? Like, that's tough to replace. So I'm just going to try to be myself and help my team win as much as I can.
Jay talked about when you guys were in Biloxi playing that, I don't want to say laid back, but it was a little bit of a laid back atmosphere. You guys watching Game 7 of the World Series, playing poker. You've played a lot of baseball. You've played through the ebbs and flows of a season. How important is it, that type of foundation, to kind of be set for when you guys do get to the season, to have that bond? Yeah,
I think it's super important, especially for, I would say, freshmen. Just going on a road trip and staying in a hotel with one other person is definitely different. I remember my first road trip and what not to do in hotel rooms or at hotels, and what is allowed at hotels. But I think it was super important. We had a great time. We were in that conference room, or the meeting room that they let us have the whole weekend, pretty much every second we weren't at the field. Whether it was, like you said, we were playing poker or watching World Series. It was awesome. And I think it was really important to do that as a team, and especially the bus ride over there, playing bus games, and really just getting to know each other. So I think it was a good trip to get ready for the season, and I I think that's exactly what it did. It's going to get us ready for road trips during the year.
When people watch you play, they probably think of your offense and your swing first, but Coach just talked about the defense, how they put a diamond on the ring for how well they played last year. And you made some nice plays, I thought, in Biloxi. How much has the defense been stressed to you and to the team this year?
Yeah, big time. I remember right when I committed, I got put into an infield group chat, and Coach Johnson texted within like 5 minutes of adding me into it and was like, make sure you guys are well conditioned. Like our infield work here is no joke, and he's not wrong. Like it's every day, it's nonstop repetition, and obviously that's why they were the best last year, and hopefully we'll be the best again this year.
Since that meeting at Fleming's, how have you improved, and what are some of the things that you've really grown with your game?
I would say, obviously I was very young when he said that, and he was joking. But I would say I've gotten a lot better since then. I've had great coaching my whole life. Been very lucky. So I think I would just credit all my coaches that I've gotten a lot better since then.
Some of the guys that are on the team now were here between 23 and 24 when they won the national championship and had to play the next season. Has there been any discussion from them about maybe what they did wrong that last time, or what the focus is this time, attacking the next national championship instead of reflecting on the previous one?
Yeah, from what I've heard is when they won it in 23, the 24 year wasn't the greatest. Obviously, they still made a regional and almost went to a super. But yeah, so Coach Johnson talks about it all the time is last year, and they've had really cool experiences going to the White House and all that stuff. But I think every one of the guys that was on last year's team is focused on this year too. Obviously, all the stuff that they're getting is really cool, their ring ceremony and all that. But I think they've done a good job of separating the two last year and this year, and really getting after it. And they're all wanting to win another one. Derek Curiel's texting in our group chat every day like let's get it back to back. So I think we're all focused on getting another one.
Hey, Zach, Corey Diaz with the Daily Advertiser. When you're a transfer, you're coming into a new program, obviously spent 3 years at Grand Canyon. I guess what do you expect from yourself from a dynamic standpoint within the team? Like, do you feel like you can come in and have a voice because you've played college baseball for a few years? Like, or is it you kind of take a step back for a few weeks and just kind of let the guys who've been here, like, how do you just sort of approach that?
Yeah, I think for some people it may be a little bit more difficult than it is for me. I'm a very loud and outgoing person, and and credit to the guys that were here over the summer, because when I committed, I came out here and started working out and getting acclimated a little bit, and we were all hanging out within the first night I was here. So it was really easy for me to make friends, especially with how nice everyone is. But also, Coach Johnson told me in my first meeting, he was like, "You're an older player. You've played a bunch of games. You've had a lot of at bats. Just be yourself and jump right in." He's like, "No hesitation. Like, if you want to say something to someone, say it." And so we've had a couple meetings on that, just being a voice and being a leader as best I can. So yeah, but I think we're also a team that knows we're very well led by our coaching staff. So a lot of times they're saying what needs to be said. So it's not very hard on me or other guys that are older.
Bay Area guy, Giants fan too?
No, I'm an Angels fan.
Angels
I'm
fan.
from SoCal,
Oh,
but
okay.
I did high school in the Bay Area.
Oh, high school. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the farthest you ever hit a baseball? Do you know?
I hit one baseball, like in a game. One baseball I hit was 446 feet against Sam Houston my freshman year of college.
Was that at home or was that on the road?
That was at home. At
That was at
Grand
home,
Canyon.
okay. Jay talked about just, obviously, people want to talk about your power and your numbers, but your bat-to-ball skills, your ability to adjust in situational baseball. Can you just kind of talk about when did that switch flip for you? That you were like, hey, I'm more than just a guy that can, drive one out of the ballpark. Was it in college? Was it high school? When did that flip for you, think?
Yeah, so I've always been a bigger guy, bigger, stronger guy, but my high school coach, Coach Brian Yorke at Archbishop Mitty, love him, still talk to him to this day. He was huge on opposite field line drives, two-strike hitting, quality at-bats, And so from my freshman year and my sophomore year, I genuinely don't know how many times I pulled the ball in the air to right field. I had 1 home run my freshman year, maybe 3 my sophomore year. And then I started working with Zoots Baseball Club. It was my summer ball team out there, and Joe Betancourt is the hitting coach. He kind of taught all 3 of my 2 older brothers, all 3 of us, how to pull the ball in the air. So I kind of have always been good at slapping the ball the other way when I need to, and then in certain situations trying to do more to the pull side. But yeah, I feel like I learned how to hit for the whole field and have an approach before I learned how to hit for power, and I think I've just mixed them together. Yeah.
That's the last one.
You've done a really good job of getting on base pretty consistently throughout your collegiate career. What's been sort of the key to your patience at the plate and just your eye for the strike zone?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just think, I always had great coaching. I remember we would hit pinto beans with my hitting coach Joe Betancourt, and I think that's a big thing. And yeah, I've always understood that my skill set, I can manipulate the ball that I can hit. If I can't hit it, I don't swing at it. So, and usually it's a ball. So, yeah.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Cooper, Jay just, I guess, ended his portion of talking about he's really been proud of the way they've recruited pitchers. When you made the decision to kind of, open your recruitment and look at the portal, just what stood out to you other than just Paul Skeens and some of the names, what the conversations with Jay when that process really kicked off for you?
Yeah, Jay was actually the first person that called me when I was in the portal, so that was a big sign of trust and believing in him. And when I came here, they sat me down with a whole presentation about almost every transfer that's came here and their success and how they've developed. And I think that was a big thing for me in getting to the next step of where I want to go, was coming to find the development and find a routine and really work with some really good coaches and other players.
Cooper, Cokie Riley with The Advocate. What ways do you want to develop when you're talking about that development that you want to have? What are some of the things you want to improve on while you're here?
Yeah, I wanted to really improve on a routine before games, after games, all that stuff. And they do a great job with Isaac and the training staff here of getting our post-throw, our pre-throw, all that stuff dialed in. And then just a big thing for me was trying to spin the ball more and be more effective with the spin.
Hey Cooper, Corey Diaz with the Daily Advertiser. Jay mentioned a lot of depth within the pitching staff. As a pitcher, how much does being surrounded by other quality pitchers, great pitchers, however the coaching staff would categorize them, how does that help you get better?
Oh, it means everything. After you come out of a game, you want to trust every guy that comes in behind you. And with the depth we have and the guys in the locker room and the character they are, I believe in every single guy is going to go out there and give it their best and compete. So that gives me a lot of confidence when I'm pitching.
Hey, Cooper. John Eads, WAFB. What have you learned from Nate Yeske since you've been here?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. We've had a lot of conversations about how to make my breaking balls better and this and that. And working with him and Jamie has been great. It's been awesome looking at the data and all the analytics and the slow-mo and all that stuff of my pitches. And I think I've done a great job of developing the pitches I need to and attacking the way they want me to attack.
Just what's it like facing Ethan and Derek kind of at this level of LSU, and what do you see in their swings? They're maybe comparable to each other?
Yeah, every guy here is a great hitter. They all come to compete. Derek's a great hitter, like you said. He's one of the best in the country, and all the other guys that are around him, he makes them just much better and spits some knowledge on them that they don't already have.
Zach said he was a pretty loud guy. How would you describe yourself as you've tried to assimilate yourself into this team?
Yeah, I think me and Zach work pretty well together. We're both pretty outgoing. We're both confident in ourselves, and we like to rub that off on other guys, and we want them to be just as confident, because without confidence on the baseball field, you're not going to have nearly as much success. So you got to believe in yourself and believe in the guys that are around you. And I think he does a great job of keeping the mood light and cracking jokes left and right. So I always like a good joke. So.
When it comes to what Nate Yeske is trying to do with you, what Jamie Tutko is trying to do with you, what are some of the other unique things that they've tried to instill and that you've seen that you necessarily didn't have at Kansas?
Yeah, big thing is pitching to location with every single pitch. I mean, we're not just trying to throw a pitch middle. We're trying to put it in a spot where a hitter's not going to get to it. And that's a big thing for me because at Kansas where I was, it wasn't really like that. And coming here, it's taught me that there's another level to pitching. And there's another level to everyone's game. If they can attack certain zones and certain counts, you're just going to be that much more effective.
Your relationship with Cade Arambidi, Omar Cerna, Eddie Yaman, the catching staff, how has that progressed over the past couple months?
Yeah, it's been great. Cade was super welcoming. I mean, he was probably one of the first guys I met, and I kind of already had a relationship with him because one of my best friends knew Cade from back in the day playing summer ball with him when they were younger and this and that. And so he was one of the first guys I met and already knew. And I think we were hanging out one of the first nights I got here, and we just clicked it off. I mean, he's a great guy, good guy, funny jokes, and yeah, I love him behind the plate.
There's a lot of arms in this staff. I was writing them all down between the transfers and the guys returning. Just where was your mind at when you were thinking about coming here and having to compete for these innings and opportunities?
Yeah, that was a big thing. I think anywhere you go, you're going to have to compete and win a spot. So you can't really think about that in the moment. You got to just be ready to go and be ready to compete against the best of the best. Because if you want to be the best, you're going to have to beat out the best. And here at LSU, there's a handful, plenty of guys that are really, really good at what they do. And I think that just pushes me to be better.
I guess for the average fan that hasn't seen you pitch, how would you describe maybe your mentality on the mound and your arsenal without going in, I guess, too much detail?
Yeah, I'm super competitive, and I'm pretty fiery whenever the game gets hot and a big moment comes about. Even if I'm not pitching, I'll be right there, first one out of the dugout, cheering on the guys. And when I am on the mound after a big inning, I mean, I might let out a little celebration.
What's your repertoire of pitches, and how do you sort of prefer to deploy them, I guess?
Yeah, I throw a pretty good sinker and pretty good changeup, and I'll let you guys try to figure out the rest when I'm out there. Don't want to give away too much.
Have you learned anything just being around Kason Evans since you've been here?
I've learned that he's a great guy, and he's awesome. He's actually one of the first guys that I really clicked with, him and Maverick Rizzi. They're two of my favorite guys on the team. I like everyone, but those were two of the first guys that I met. And what I really like about Kason is how competitive he is. He's an animal. I mean, he's fiery. He's everything you could think of. And it's great to just get to work with a guy like that.
You mentioned earlier you like a good joke. Do you have any jokes that you'd like to tell?
I don't have any that are off the top of my head.
I guess on a serious note, how would you describe your baseball journey? It's obviously led you to LSU baseball. What's been the biggest things you've taken away from all your previous stops, and what's led you to here?
Yeah, so I was actually a catcher out of high school. I was a two-way guy, going to KU, more local to the Midwest. Didn't have a bunch of big SEC schools, anyone like that, blowing up my line. So I chose to go to KU and do everything I could to get on the field, because as a freshman, it's hard to get on the field your first year. So I was willing to do anything to get on the field, and had a lot of talks with Coach Fitzgerald at KU and all them. And ultimately, it was best to just go to the bullpen and try to see what I can do. And it's ended up working out really well. And I think being a catcher in the past, it really teaches me how to control the game and attack hitters every single pitch, because it's pretty hard to hit when a hitter's on defense.
I'm not sure how heavily attended or not attended Kansas baseball games were, but you had a chance to pitch in Biloxi, I think in Hammond as well against Southeastern. Big crowds, thousands of people. How did you handle that moment, and what do you learn from that moment that has you prepared to pitch in the box in a couple months?
Yeah, I love when fans are at the game. I love when fans are entertaining and going crazy all the time. And I've never experienced anything here like LSU. I haven't even experienced a spring game yet, but I can only imagine that's going to be pretty rowdy. And Biloxi was a good taste of it, and I'm ready to see what all the fans can bring.
Strike throwing's been a pretty big part of your repertoire. What's kind of been the key to that for you?
Yeah, like I said, I think coming out from a catcher, it's been a huge thing. I had a good arm behind the plate when I was a catcher, and always threw it pretty good on the bag. Yeah, I think just being a position guy, transferring to the mound, a lot of guys have had success doing it. and I think I'm having pretty good success throwing strikes.
Good.
Thank you, guys.